His Excellency Senator Dr. Godwill Akpabio, GCON, President of Senate, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, and his wife, the Honorable Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, CON, honorable members of the House of Representatives, Excellencies, Ambassadors, esteemed development partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on existing protocols, and good morning once again. Let me begin by thanking the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker and all the members of the House of Representatives for the privilege to join this historic dialogue on women and constitutional amendment in Nigeria. I recognize the exemplary leadership of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker in advancing numerous bills and measures to increase the participation of women in both elected and appointed offices in Nigeria. The bill on special seats for women, and thank you, Deputy Speaker, for that, as part of the constitutional amendment process, including the Gender Equality, Equal Opportunity Bill, will help us to enhance the participation of women in politics. Again, I thank the House drive to strengthen the Assembly's oversight role to comply with the national gender policy of 35% for women in both public and private sectors. Today, we come together. As we come together, we carry forward a mission of extraordinary importance, one that resonates deeply across every community, every institution, and every heart committed to equity and inclusion. This is the unresolved issue of women's inclusion and participation in the governance of Nigeria, an issue that has taken center stage since 5 gender bills failed to pass during the 9th National Assembly Constitution Review process. How is it possible that for Africa's most populous nation, the giant of Africa, and there's a reason why Nigeria is called the giant of Africa, because Nigeria provides leadership to us all. How is it possible that we only have 4 women in Senate out of 109 and 16 out of 360? The disparity in gender representation at the state and local levels could even be higher. And I say this passionately because Nigeria continues to provide leadership to many of us. As a young woman who grew up in the ghettos of Ghana, I've been inspired by Nigerian women, even in the United Nations, where we have Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General, Okonjo Iweala, head of WTO, Ahunez Yakonwa, head of UNDP Africa. How is it possible that we are not able to make a dent? But the good news is that the time is ripe now, and the incredible leadership and political will of this auspicious 10th National Assembly is one that we will celebrate. The board intend to interrogate, please, a round of applause. The board intend to interrogate this issue with the aim of finding common solutions, a welcome move that should be supported. So I just wanted to say a few things because we don't have time. To address the question of the wider gender disparity in the political representation of women in Nigeria's governance, it is important for us to have a shared understanding on a few things. Why? Why? What? And how? But why? The world is changing, and it's changing so fast. We are in a time of artificial intelligence. Mr. Speaker, only a few days ago, my son told me, "Mommy, I've seen an app, and I want to be in the metaverse." I was asking him, you don't want to be here on earth, you want to be in the metaverse. But you can understand the power of technology. He who controls technology will control the world. And what about women in parliament who understand and connect to their children? What are the risks and opportunities that they are there to legislate in a powerful way to support their own? It is important for us to see that it's a changing world, and Nigeria needs to be the giant of Africa, the anchor that we demand in the continent. But it is also good governance. It creates a governance system that reflects all Nigerians. Half of Nigerians' population are women, and yet the reality is not reflected in the governance system. A government that includes women is more representative of the people it serves, leading to greater public trust and engagement. These are our grandmothers, These are our aunties. These are our sisters. These are our granddaughters. And they can bring perspectives and insights and priorities into issues around healthcare, education, economic empowerment, and social welfare. But why does it matter? It matters because it is good development. By improving economic growth and tackling poverty, women's participation in governance is not just about meeting gender quotas, it's about achieving real impact. When women govern, communities see improvement in healthcare access, family welfare policies, and educational outcomes. And we have seen this in Rwanda. We have seen this in South Africa. We have seen this in Liberia. We have seen this in Uganda, where I'm just coming from. It is also important because it addresses gender-specific needs. Women in governance are more likely to champion policies that address gender-based violence, high rates of maternal mortality, barriers to education for girls. We must see this as a development imperative, but also addressing gender-specific needs. And it's also important because it inspires future generations. Women's inclusion in leadership challenges cultural norms and promotes gender equality, sending a message to society that leadership is not limited by gender. Women in political roles serve as role models, inspiring more Nigerian women and girls and young women to pursue education, leadership, civic education, and many more. And I'm a testament of that, being inspired by many women growing up in the ghettos of Accra. Clearly, there are strategic benefits in pursuing fair political representation of women in Nigerian governance, and I will not repeat myself because examples have been mentioned. But what can we do? What can we do practically? It means increasing representation in elected and appointed roles, and I know the Deputy Speaker talked about that, but I will not belabor that. It means implementing gender quotas or affirmative action policies. Again, thank you for leading that conversation, Mr. Speaker and Deputy Speaker, around dedicated quotas for women. It means strengthening leadership pathways for women, encouraging women's participation at grassroots levels, in local councils, in community organizations, so they gain experience and build influence over time. It means fostering a culture of gender inclusivity in politics, addressing cultural stereotypes, providing legal protections for women in politics, and encouraging positive portrayals of women in leadership roles in the media. And I can go on and on and on. But how? How can we do this more practically? We must, and there are a few options for us as I try to conclude, galvanize and move forward with public awareness campaigns on the benefits of women's inclusion. And we must campaign. And it must not be seen as a threat. We must engage male champions for gender equality. He for she was talked about. When prominent men advocate for gender equality, it sends a strong message to distractors that this initiative is about national progress, not just gender balance, thus reducing opposition. The how means not only having the idea of quotas, but implementing and enforcing these quotas. It means working with civil society and women groups on the ground, providing capacity building for women, leaders. And finally, it means leaving no one behind the constitutional review process, product and implementation, and enforcement of the law. As we advance the constitutional reform, several specific challenges arise. We must ensure the language used in the Constitution is gender sensitive and includes women's experiences, addressing intersectionality such as race, ethnicity, disability, and many more. As I conclude my goodwill message, I am delighted, also as a daughter of the soil, to reiterate my own commitment and that of the United Nations Development Program and the United Nations family. We believe in the power of inclusive legislation to drive sustainable development and advance aspirations of all citizens. We stand firmly with Nigeria in supporting legislative frameworks that uphold equality, justice, and opportunity for all. We remain committed to strengthening institutional capacities, fostering dialogue, ensuring Nigerian women have a seat at every table where decisions are made. And as we engage in these critical discussions today, remember the far-reaching impact that every decision holds for current and future generations. Today's dialogue is more than a meeting. It is a call to action. Let us commit ourselves to an enduring vision, one where all voices are valued, all dreams are heard, all barriers are broken down for women seeking to lead. Let this dialogue strengthen our collective resolve, building understanding and laying the foundation for actionable change. May this gathering mark a turning point, and may each of us leave here with renewed determination to create a Nigeria where women are fully empowered to contribute to the governance of this great nation, the giant of Africa and the anchor of Africa. Once again, let me thank Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker in the House for the leadership, for the unwavering dedication to building a just and equitable Nigeria. We stand with you. And as I conclude, again, I just want to personalize this. From a woman who grew up in the ghettos of Accra, I was given an opportunity by the United Nations. And today, as our Secretary General pushes for gender equality, I can say in UNDP we have 50% women as representatives. Once again, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elsie Attafuah. She could pass as an evangelist. I was almost saying hallelujah. She could pass as a politician. Whatever she's selling, I want to buy. And whatever she's advocating, I want to sign. Where do I sign? Such passion, such power, such eloquence. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, Elsie Attafuah, the United Nations Development Program resident representative here in Nigeria. She just finished serving as a resident representative in Uganda before she got posted to Nigeria. Thank you very much for that fiery goodwill message.